Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today, we're going over why some people still think VR gaming is a joke. Even after 7 years of consumer VR being publicly available, there's still a large portion of the gaming community that either won't take VR serious or thinks it's still a gimmick. While VR does have numerous shortcomings, which I've discussed on multiple occasions, that overall negative opinion is just not based in reality. So why then are there such strong anti-VR gaming sentiments out there? Well, today we'll go over just that. Now, I personally love topics like this, as they are both entertaining and informational, but you may or may not agree, so please let me know down in the comments or by leaving a thumbs up. There are, of course, links and timestamps to enhance your viewing pleasure, but before we jump in, this video is sponsored by Kiwi Design, one of my favorite sites for VR accessories. They recently released some new Quest2 headphones that promise to pack some extra bass and increase your audio experience. They currently have my favorite Quest2 Elite strap with battery pack, and there's plenty of other accessories like enhanced controller grips, replacement facial covers, link cables, and much more. There's a link down in the description, and don't forget to use discount code Mateo311 for 5% off and to help support this channel. Okay, so we need to start off with how VR was introduced to the public. You had both absolutely horrible cell phone encapsulating experiences with only 3 degrees of freedom that was likely to induce motion sickness, or you had incredibly expensive hardware that required both dedicated space and a gaming PC. Both versions of VR also lacked content. At the same time, they were being touted as the future of gaming or the true next generation. But in truth, neither approach had a mainstream future. Cell phone VR was too low quality, and PCVR is too expensive for the masses. We were left with extreme hype and impractical products. The public opinion became VR is absolutely terrible or just way too expensive. For many individuals, the story stops here. They had a bad VR experience, and they never checked back in on the technology. But the issues only continued as major developers started pulling support. With the VR hype winding down, and the number crunchers doing the math, it was clear that lengthy and expensive VR game development would not be profitable. This led to a series of lackluster titles or overly short demo-like experiences from AAA studios. The launch of both Skyrim and Fallout 4 VR were atrocious. Doom VFR had 2 full pages of known bugs on their website, and both Wolfenstein Cyberpilot and Batman VR were only about 45 minutes long. So now not only did some individuals have the opinion that VR was either crap or too expensive, but they were also under the impression that all games were just gimmicky tech demos. And this left development in the hands of the indie community, which already had its own not true gaming stigma. Believe it or not, even after years of absolutely amazing indie titles, such as Hotline Miami, Undertale, Stardew Valley, Valheim, Stray, and one of my personal favorites, The Darkest Dungeon, there are still plenty of people in the gaming community who say indie games aren't real games. Obviously, this is total BS, and indie developers have done amazing things both in and outside of VR. Regardless, VR became known for indie development, and for many mainstream gamers, this just knocked it down one more notch. And making matters even worse, VR was being touted as the next generation of gaming, yet the majority of its titles had last generation graphics. Now, that's not exactly true, and there are a combination of issues here. For starters, mobile hardware like the Quest 2 is much less capable than a modern console, so yes, the graphics will be more limited, but even truly breathtaking VR experiences like Asgard's Wrath just don't look nearly as good on flat screen as they do in VR, and the industry has struggled to get that point across. There's currently 2 methods to try and get past this. One is to use unrealistic pre-rendered footage, and the other is to showcase the title in mixed reality. The only issues here is that pre-rendered footage can be extremely misleading, and mixed reality showcases are occasionally cringy. From time to time, this does work really well, but at other times it feels deceptive or even pathetic. It reminds me of the over-the-top 1990s video game commercials I watched as a kid, where a character jumps out of the screen, explosions are going off in the background, and then eventually you get 10 seconds of gameplay, which was actually just a few pixels on the screen. Now, even when VR has true gold, something like Half-Life Alyx that still looks really good on flat screen, you just still can't convey what it looks like, or more importantly, what it feels like in VR. It's almost like explaining sight to a blind man. You can try and describe it as much as possible, but it's really something you need to experience. And while we're discussing people with seemingly no experience, we have to talk about how horrendous the media coverage of VR has been. Haven't you guys heard? VR is dead, just like it was every single year since 2017. Yet somehow, someway, it still continues to grow year after year. VR is one truly impressive zombie. Almost every time a new headset releases, it's mocked by some news outlet who sounds like they've never actually tried VR before. When tech websites were recommending the absolutely atrocious Vive Cosmos, or cell phone VR as late as 2021, and games like Hitman were winning Best VR Title of 2022, it's clear these sites are just clueless. The PlayStation VR2 sold roughly 300,000 units in its first month, making it the fastest selling wired headset ever, yet countless articles said it was a huge flop. They even made claims as far as Sony was expecting to sell 2 million units, which is just absolutely ridiculous, because that would mean they expected an accessory to outsell the leading consoles. Now, it's still a bit too early to judge the full potential of the PlayStation VR 2, but it does seem to be on track to outsell the original, which is definitely an improvement, especially since the PlayStation 5 sales have been a lot lower than the PlayStation 4 sales were. So the overall interest in Sony's VR this time around is much higher. Now, on the opposite side of the media coverage, we have overly enthusiastic sites or content creators. When you gush over every minor change, upgrade, or mediocre game, it's just not a good look for the VR gaming industry. While some people are just that enthusiastic, this can come off as a bit cringy, just more BS hype, or at worst, make it look like you can't trust the opinion of a VR content creator. But speaking of making VR look cringe, Meta is doing their absolute best with the Metaverse. After years of burning money on VR with no potential return in sight, Meta had to showcase their future. It's their Ready Player One DLC universe, where they can collect countless data points of information on their users and also sell them tons of virtual goods. Why buy clothing in real life when you can dress your avatar? Okay, I'll ease up on picking on Meta and the Metaverse, but they're both easy targets. Now, I do believe the Metaverse will be part of the future, just not the immediate one. It's still plenty of years out, and anytime Meta showcases this project, not only does it look horrendous, but they also constantly fake stuff. At times, it feels like they're trying to kill the public image of VR. So let's quickly summarize why people are left with the idea that VR is a gimmick. It launched with an excessive amount of hype, but the majority of people only got to experience an extremely poor version of VR. This led to limited sales and major developers pulling out, leaving us with both shallow and mediocre games. Indie developers were forced to take up the reins, which added another "these are not real games" stigma, and even when an absolutely amazing VR project launched, the industry struggled to showcase just how good it was. The uphill battle continued with an onslaught of terrible media coverage, and Meta insisting on showcasing the Metaverse. So basically, this was one giant cluster. So where exactly does this leave us now? Well, VR is continuing a slow upward trajectory. It will definitely have some more ups and downs in the future, but it is definitely here to stay. Now, if you want to help VR grow, I just recommend you put a headset on someone's head. Either have them come over if you're a PC gamer, or bring the Quest to them if that's what you use. Show them some of your favorite VR experiences, and remember to take it slow. Don't do something stupid like put them on a VR roller coaster, or place them on Richie's Plank experience and then give them a shove. Just calmly ease them in, and let them see how amazing VR can be. Now, you may have to face the fact that VR is just not for everyone, but it offers an unmatched immersive experience, and plenty of people will fall in love with it. Now, if you watch this whole video, I assume you already have some strong opinions on VR, and I'd love to hear where you agree or disagree with me down in the comments right now.
And that was today's video, brought to you by my dad, Mateo311. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here,
Consider subscribing.
consider
subscribing.
Consider subscribing.
Consider subscribing.
Consider subscribing.
We'll see you guys on next time.
We'll see you guys on next time.